hello. Wasting money feels bad, and even people who like to feel bad don't like wasting money. Masochists gotta eat too. This is a topic that has become more prevalent as game prices are starting to increase again, and as the general industry has become a little more like, really? Really like that. And of course that's not surprising considering the producer-consumer relationship has devolved into, all right guys, everybody line up for your pre-orders. I feel an Ultimate Edition coming on. Ooh. Give it to me. The point of that very well articulated skit being that we have to shoulder a little bit of the blame. Every time a new Assassin's Creed comes out, a bunch of people complain about it, and then it proceeds to make stupid amounts of money. Seriously, when a bunch of higher-ups from Ubisoft see that an Assassin's Creed is getting bad reviews at launch and people are complaining about it, that's how they know they can go ahead and do their little money dance. And you sit there and you think to yourself, who is buying these games? But if you scroll down far enough, you'll find them. You guys remember when Game Freak announced that Sword and Shield wouldn't have the national decks? And everybody in the fan base was like, all right guys, we're gonna boycott Sword and Shield to protest them not having the national decks. So everybody, let's come together and make our voices heard. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make our voices heard. We're gonna get the national decks back. Here we go, all for one. What the heck, guys? My bitterness aside, this video is all about the green machine. So let's talk about those nickels and dimes. Before Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon were the game. So if you bought one of those for $60, you would have a game that's compatible with 800 Pokemon, roughly. If you bought the predecessor, spending $60 on Sword or Shield, you would get a game that gives you a pull of roughly 400 Pokemon. So I would hope I don't have to explain why this is a problem. That's what really makes it feel extra bad, just makes it feel like guys, why do we? And I know it's not right to be mad at people for liking a game. They aren't bad people for that. But like when they're funding the death of a beloved franchise, it's like, am I a little justified? Am I just like a little bit? Is it okay to be mad at them just a tiny bit? No, it's not okay. If people like the game, they can buy it and play the game. Well, Josh, if it's not their fault, whose is it? Well, the ones truly responsible for this are too high up in the tax bracket for us to see. Not that they pay taxes. But to be honest, you can find this conversation all over YouTube. There are plenty of videos talking about how prices are too high and microtransactions are dumb and all that. But I'm more interested in talking about the effects of prices. Whoa, all right, that's enough doom and gloom for one day, huh, gang? Let's talk about something fun, something happy, something like wee, something like woo! Wind Waker HD. I mean, this game looks fantastic. All the monsters are all strange and kooky. The world is so mysterious. It triggers that part of the brain that's I want to see more. I want to discover. What an amazing classic Zelda game. I've never beat it. A lot of games have the same problem that Wind Waker does, where the pacing is great, you're having fun, you're having a cool time playing through the game, but then you get towards the end, and all of a sudden the pacing just slows way down. A lot of $60 games specifically have that part, where the game quality takes a nosedive for the sake of dragging out playtime. And I know there are a lot of precious gamer babies, a lot of sweet little angels of Reddit that would tell me that The length of a game, how many hours you can sink into a game, is an indicator of value and therefore should affect the price. And they kind of got a good point, but also that mentality leads to where games are being made in reverse. The pricing is already set and then they have to make the game for that price tag. Games shouldn't be bending over backwards to meet their prices. Ideally, we could just get good games and then those good games could be priced accordingly. In a perfect world, Bowser's Fury was released on its own for like $15. Maybe $20? I've never played it. I don't know how actually long Bowser's Fury is, but a price according to it. If they sold it separately for a lower price, I probably would have played it. That's all I'm saying. Oh, but Josh, these are companies trying to make money, and you're being dumb and naive, and you're gonna die alone. And you know what? That last one was uncalled for. A gem of a game, Shadow of War. Nowadays, if you ask anybody, they'll tell you that Shadow of War is a great game. Maybe even a masterpiece. But it wasn't like that in the before times. Wells ran dry, hopeful mothers' wombs lay barren, and the game, Shadow of War, was filled to the brim with microtransactions. Sorry, that scared me. People rate Shadow of War across the coals on release. Only after all that the devs decided, all right, we've made all the money there is to be made. They took out the microtransactions and left the game for dead. Only then did the people rally behind their champion, shouting from every rooftop, hey, this game's actually not that bad and actually pretty good, I think. It's actually, I like it, or maybe you should try it. I think it's pretty cool. Point being that pricing was once again almost the death of another great game. If you have great games, then it's just like, oh, it kind of sucks that it costs that much, but oh, whatever. And then you pay the price and you're done with that part of it, and now I can just enjoy the game. That's fine. But I feel like people are overlooking the fact that some of these pricings and some of the way that they're priced is affecting the game itself. So even after you pay the price tag, you're still dealing with the consequences of the price tag within the game. Now, full disclosure, I came up with that poop joke from earlier and then kind of built this whole video around that. So I don't really have a grand point to make here. If this was happening in the early 2000s, we'd be in trouble. But these huge AAA companies aren't the whole industry anymore. The hardest part of this is when a company gets a hold of a franchise you've loved since childhood and they just ring it to death. And that hurts, but that's it. Like, if you can let go of that, that's the only thing wrong. Everything else is fine. Just buy the good games. Idiot. Like, what do? You buy bad games? It's so easy to not buy bad games. Just don't do it, moron.